And all of us, we're born without dreams, okay? But dreams enter your life in childhood. There's a game that we play that fucks us all up, okay? It's called Ghar Ghar. Do you know? Ghar Ghar in English is house, house. It's essentially a game where children enact patriarchal domestic life for fun. You see your parents, you see their real life, and you play it in front of them to hurt their feelings. Your parents are watching a documentary of their lives, performed by small versions of them. Yeah. Ghar Ghar is the only non-fiction children's game. Others involve imagination, like I'm Batman, I'm Spider-Man. House is like aaj fir se bhindi. Now, I used to play in the 90s with my sisters, who used to force me to be Papa, okay, in House. Papa is the worst fucking thing to be in House. Papa was not in the game. Most of the game, Papa's not there. Right? You have to do a full day. So you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, good morning, children. They're like, good morning, Papa. It's time for office. You just have to leave. And stand in a different corner of the room and watch them playing house. Which looks like fun. Meanwhile, you have to play office. Fucking sucks. Hello, Gupta, not now. You come home in the evening of the game, you are like, hello, children. They're like, yay, Papa's home. Time for sleeping, Papa. Papa never gets to have any fun. That's why Papa drinks. In my 30s, I understand Papa completely. Games that kids play are a reflection of how they think and the things they see. And I had another friend who invented his own game called Funeral, which is, no, it's what it sounds like. We used to go to the park, he would lie down, I had to cover him with sticks and mourn. Yeah. He would get angry if I didn't mourn like enough. If I just like said terrible tragedy and all, from within the sticks he's like, Karan, I'm not feeling that you're sad. The emotion is not coming out. So I had to be like, oh, hi. You know, this is the highest form of Asian sadness. It's when you hit yourself, God, why didn't you take me? At funerals, there's always someone trying to broker a deal with God. No, take me, give them back 2 packets of kurkure. And someone tells them it doesn't work like this. You can't just exchange. I know, I do this for attention. One day, funeral kid came to our house to play, okay? He wants to play his game, we want to play our game. So we have to come to a compromise, okay? And invent a new game called House, Funeral. Which is very tough. As you can imagine, yeah. Woke up in the morning of the game, half the people dead. I missed it, I was in office. Imagine my shock. What? Everyone's dead. Gupta, not now. You play house, and your first 2 dreams form in your head. Domestic dream, employment dream. One day I'll get to grow up and do all this for real. And guess what? You have grown up. And how much fun is house? Is it everything you wished for? What is the reality of playing house as adults? It's getting yelled at by a partner who is supposed to love you for an abstract reason. Why haven't you refilled the ice cube tray? I forgot. Why did you forget? Why do you remember? We can't have metaphysical arguments. Next time I'm about to forget. Before that, I'll remember instead. What the Problem is, you grow up, okay, and you start living alone and you develop your own system. Now, it's a way of doing things that only make sense to you to minimize your life's entropy. Okay. Everyone in that house, they have like one watch that's 15 minutes fast. And then you ask, like, why? Why is this watch 15 minutes fast? So, bro, actually, when it's 9:15, it's 9 o'clock. Series of stupid decisions stacked on top of each other. One day you'll come home, you take off your shoes, you put it here, and then you will decide, this is the shoe place. From now until forever, all shoes shall be placed here, shoe place. Your system makes sense. Then you invite some new dumb fuck into your life. They have their own system, which is wrong. And the clash of systems is what gives rise to all your fights, right? You thought you would have like cinematic Hollywood fights. Like, why don't you love me anymore? Because. But fights are more arbitrary. Why is there wet towel on the bed? Sometimes you fight with someone and you're like, this might be a new fight that we are premiering in the world. Especially during COVID, sometimes you fight and you're like, I don't think anyone's had this fight before. You're just washing the dishes, they'll come and start talking. Sorry, what's that? I am using too much soap. God. No, it's okay. I had forgotten about the global soap shortage, actually. No, I don't have to be sarcastic. I enjoy being sarcastic. The tap is dirty, that's you fucking don't know. You also do lots of shit, okay? Oh, what shit? Tell me where the towel is right now. Is it in the place where towels should be, or is it on the... Yes, okay. Yes, fine. Let's not fight. Let's forget this fight. If you're with someone for long enough, you start agreeing to forget fights. It's amazing. You're like, all conflict has no solution. So what we'll do is, you forget, I'll forget. Next time we fight, we'll remember. Then you have to negotiate the terms of this amnesia. Can't just forget. What will it take to forget? Like, what do you want? Dinner? I'm making dinner already. Yeah, okay. You want a drink? Yeah, sure. I got a whiskey right here. What do you want? Soda, water, what? Ice. Fuck. House gets less fun the longer it goes on. Dude, if you're with someone for a long time, people say like the magic is gone, right? People say like if you're with someone for a long time, the magic is gone. The magic isn't gone, you just know how the trick is done. This just seems less magical than it used to. You start, when you meet someone, you're like, oh my God, you look so amazing all the time. You look so amazing all the time. How do you always look so amazing? And then you know after some time, oh, it's because you take 1.5 hours to get ready. And your products dominate the bathroom and we are late for all occasions. You're so funny all the time. You're always making jokes. How are you so funny all the time? And then you know, oh, it's because you have a one-dimensional personality. And you're scared of conflict, so you just make jokes instead of talking about your feelings. Oh my God, you understand me so well. It's like you know me better than I know myself. And you use that knowledge to manipulate me. House, no fun!
I feel like this is a point in the show, you know, I'd quite like to talk about my dad, right, because he is a Glaswegian guy. He's a good lad as well, man. He's 74, right? And I say I'm working class, he's proper working class, you know. He came for nothing, worked in the shipyards, left school before he even sat an exam, right? He's a great guy, I love him, right? But because, you know, he's 74, Glaswegian, extremely working class, he's got some opinions. Not all of them are particularly fashionable right now. You know? But doesn't mean he's an evil guy, right? And no one in here better be judging him, because I tell you right now, I guarantee every single family, we've all got that person. Usually an uncle you tuck away at functions. You know? And that doesn't mean they're evil people. It doesn't mean they've got a bad heart or that, you know? It just means, generally, I didn't introduce them to my black mates. He's just from a very different generation, you know? Like, he looks at my generation as if we're fucking useless, you know? And I'll be honest, we haven't done much to disprove him. Especially, I really started noticing it during the pandemic, right? He was hitting me with all this stuff where he was like, come on, Connor, you're 28 now. Right? What's your plan for getting on the property ladder? And I was like, plan? To be honest, Dad, I was kind of hoping you would die of COVID. I really had all my financial eggs in that basket. I thought it was a given, you know? Mid-70s, ex-chain smoker. I was like, this has got to eat easy. Every day I went round to visit him during the pandemic. I've never visited him every day in his life. Sometimes I'll go straight for an illegal rave right to his. Start licking door handles and that. Come on, let's free up some housing. Every time I went round, he looked better. I was like, what's happening, Benjamin Button? I love people in his generation, man. By way of making some noise, who in here is, let's say, over 50? A few years. Be proud. Right? Yous are class. Yous are the best generation, right? Because I'm 29 now. I'm a millennial. I tell you right now, I'd much rather go out for a drink with the over 50s than I would people my age. God, you go out for a drink with people my age, it brings you down. Like, all right, mate, how have you been? Long time no see. He's like, oh my God, I'm so glad you asked. I'm actually really struggling with my anxiety. Oh, for fuck's sake. Only came out for a pint. You didn't get any of that shite when you go out with the over 50s. None of yous are worried about your mental health. No, yous are worried about your health. I don't care that I've been hiding depression from my own family for 30 years. It's just my knee. Never used to click like that. You hear that? Everyone over 50's got a dodgy knee. It's when they both go, that's sad, you know? Got to walk about like Elton John at Glastonbury. Tell you though, the generation that I feel like actually a bit sorry for because of the last few years and stuff is the generation after mine, right? They're called Gen Z. Do we have any Gen Zs in? Nice! With the confidence of someone who thought there was going to be way more. Can I ask how old you are?
21.
21, nice one. Did you mean to come to the gig or are you chasing a Pokemon on your phone? I think there's a wee Pikachu down the front here. You know, but even younger than that, you know, if you're like a teenager now, if you're like 17, 18 right now, how the hell are you supposed to be optimistic about the world? You know, you're looking at it and you're like, oh my God, the planet's dying. World War III's kicking off. The government's collapsing in front of us. What are we going to do? Let's just do a wee TikTok dance. Come on. Come on. Let's get this trending. Maybe the adults will see it. They'll know what to do. Hashtag twerk for Ukraine. That's the problem with Gen Z, though. The problem is, like, they didn't come to a problem with any, like, solutions or any actual answers. All they care about is raising awareness. We're making this TikTok to raise awareness because the planet is sad. Awareness means fuck all. We know that. Like, we need a proper solution to the problem. Like, if I woke up tomorrow morning, right, and I couldn't get a hard on, for example. Just off the top of my head. I wouldn't go stand at a bus stop with my willy in my hand, like, sorry, lads, just trying to raise a wee bit of awareness here. Like, go to the doctor, you creep. I tried, I'm not allowed back there anymore. It's crazy, man. I feel genuinely sorry, though, man. If you're a teenager right now, you're fucked. Because anytime a teenager does, like, speak up and they're like, I want to be the change in the world. You know, the rest of us have made it perfectly clear that we couldn't give a fuck. If you don't believe me, just look at how the world reacted to Greta Thunberg. Right? One day, this 15-year-old Swedish girl came on TV and she just went, maybe we shouldn't put the plastic bags on the dolphins' faces. And everyone over the age of 40 just went, will someone get this uppity little bitch an iPad? It's making me sick, actually. Listen, Greta, when I was 15, we'd have been out shagging dolphins, right? That was a proper childhood, right? You don't know you're born! It's a fucking mental way to react to someone that's trying to fix the planet. But the thing about that, look, when it comes to healing the planet and fixing the ozone layer and all that, of course I want to do that. Of course I do. You'd be mental if you didn't want to do that. You know, if I have kids, I want them to enjoy the earth the same way I got to enjoy it. Right? But I do think it's bullshit that gets put on, you know, me and you, like normal people. I bet you're all nice, reasonable people. You're all at home doing your bit, you know, washing out your yogurt pots, running about with a wee bag for life, as if it makes any bit of difference. You know, meanwhile, China is on fire. Pisses me off, man. You know, we're doing all this stuff. Meanwhile, thousands of miles up there, right? You've got Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Richard Branson, literally racing each other to Mars. Right? In the world's biggest dick measuring contest. Burning thousands and thousands of gallons of jet fuel. Meanwhile, I'm down here on Earth in a 1-litre Ford Fiesta. Try to suck a McDonald's milkshake through a fucking paper straw. How the fuck is that fair? It's ridiculous. I'm sick of being told by billionaires that we need to reduce our single-use plastic. Oh. Tell me right now, what do you think is worse for the ocean? Me chucking away a straw, or them going down there on a single-use submarine? Too soon? And look, can we just agree as a society that the paper straw, not fit for purpose? We've not fixed that problem, we've just made a new problem. All right? It's ridiculous, especially against a powerful enemy like the McDonald's milkshake. I don't know what they're putting in that, but it's like liquid concrete. I nearly passed out in my car trying to drink one of them. Like, no, I can feel it, it's coming. No, put your windy up, my straw's getting soft. Just need more blood in my legs, I can do this.
You ever have that nightmare where you feel like you're awake but you can't move? Yeah, what's that called? Sleep paralysis, yeah. What's going on with that? Why don't we work on that? Why don't we have a vaccine for that? I read somewhere that we are 99% of the way to curing polio. That's great, we can stop, put that on the shelf. I don't know anybody who has polio, I've never met anybody who has polio. I've never met anybody who's heard of anybody who has polio. But I have at least 3 friends, 4 now, that some mornings are just like, I can't move any of it! So let's work on that, you know? I was talking about sleep paralysis at a show, and this guy comes up to me, and he was like, hey, I have sleep paralysis too. And I was like, oh good, another friend. It's Pretty scary, huh? And he goes, yeah. And what about when the shadow people come into the room? What? The shadow people? That's the scariest thing I've ever heard. I was like, you need to go to the doctor. He was like, I know. I was like, no, right now. The shadow people. None of us know what the shadow people look like. Not one among us can be sure of how terrifying the shadow people are. The only thing we know for sure is that it's shadow people, not a shadow person. That means that more than the first shadow person comes in the room like, I don't know if that's what they do. That's what I imagine, just like, and you're like, and then a second shadow person is like, I'm coming in too. And then a little shadow child, because its parents are teaching it to terrify. And then an old shadow grandpappy who's like, I can still scare. This may sound harsh, but I would kill a young boy with polio if it meant that no one ever had to see the shadow people again. Yeah, it's for you. I would do it for you. And a lot of people in here, that's a little harsh, TJ. You wait. You wait until you're in your bed in the morning. Oh no. No, come on. Please. And then the door opens. And the first little shadow arm. You'll be like, kill him, TJ! Slit his little polio throat! Do you ever have a nightmare that is slightly better than your real life? Those are the worst, right? Because someone's in your house and they're trying to get you, but it's like a 5-bedroom, 5.5 bath. They're trying to kill you, so you run outside to get in your Honda Accord, but it's actually a Ford Flex with all the upgrades, you know? You show up to work and you're naked, so you're very embarrassed, but it's a job that you find really rewarding. And you look forward to going every day. You do it for free, it's a gift. Every day is a gift. Those are the words to wake up from, right? Because you're like, it's so spacious. One time, okay, confession time. It's really cool how hot it is here. I think that's awesome, you know? Like, it's cool you guys all live here and you do things and you have like a theater from the 1800s, and then you have people come and perform here and you don't tell them how hot it's gonna be, and they kind of make fun of people for wearing shorts at night because that's a very specific type of alcoholism. Because that means at 4 p.m. you're so drunk that you're like, I don't think pants are in the picture tonight. And nobody tells you that you're in a heat dome, and even if they do, you're like, what is a heat dome? And they're like, you'll find out. Do you understand that that's real? That yesterday, the manager of the club was like, yeah, we're actually in a heat dome. And I said, what? He goes, a heat dome. I was like, did you say a heat dong? Because there's enough hot cock in this. Come on, fuck you guys, all right? God damn it. You have the gall to have all these chickens in this heat. And when I make a hot rooster joke, you're like, we get it, TJ. One time I had a dream where I almost hooked up with a different girl, you know, someone else besides Kate. It didn't end up happening. But I woke up and I felt really guilty. I did. I don't know, I woke up and I was like, good morning, Kate, you look beautiful in the morning light. She was like, thank you. And I was like, you want me to make you breakfast? Said, sure. I was like, I could run across the street and get that quinoa waffle mix that you love so much. She was like, what happened last night? But I think I was guilty because sometimes she gets mad at me for things that I do in her dream. Yeah? Like one time I was in the bathroom in the morning, and she was like, are you gonna brush your teeth or are you just gonna stare at the sink all morning, okay? There are other people who wanna brush their teeth. By the way, we live alone. There wasn't like 2 guys behind her like, come on, man, gotta go to work. Like our 2 cats were like, meow, 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 meow. Little Hello Kitty watch. I was like, what's wrong? She's like, you were so mean to me in my dream last night. We were at a party, and I couldn't find you, and you left without telling me. And when I finally found you were talking to some other girl under a tree. And then when I talked to you, you didn't even introduce me. I was like, that's all your fault. You guys ever have a dream? It's not a good dream, but it's not a bad dream. It's just kind of a mediocre dream, and it goes on for a really long time, but nothing really happens. Like you're driving, and you're a trucker, which you don't know how to drive those trucks, but I guess you know. And you're like, this looks like Kansas, but there's no signs anywhere, you know? And you turn, there's a dog in the passenger seat, but it's not your dog, but you're okay with that for some reason. And then you have to go to the bathroom. So you pull over to a gas station, and you get out, and you look across the road, and there's a Wendy's. You're like, Wendy's always have clean bathrooms. And you don't do anything about it, but you just think it, you know? And then you realize the dog's gone, but you're like, not my dog, you know? So then you go around the outside of the gas station, but there's no bathroom. You're like, oh, this must be one of those gas stations where the bathroom's inside. So you go inside, but you can't find it. So you go up to the girl at the cash register, but she looks like one of your ex-girlfriends, but you can't figure out which one. So then you lean in, and it's all of them. And then you're on the beach. So you're on the beach now, okay? And you want to go swimming, but you don't have your swimming suit. But you look over, and there's this store, and it says swimming suit store. And in real life, you'd be like, that's a stupid name. But in the dream world, you're like, that's informative. So then you go there, and you remember you still have to go to the bathroom. So you're looking for the bathroom, you can't find it. So you go up to the guy that works there, and he looks like your high school coach, but he has women's arms, you know? And you don't mention it because you can tell he's self-conscious about it. Because he's like, oh, the bathroom? It's over there. It's that way. So then you go to the bathroom, but it's not a bathroom at all. It's actually your high school principal's office, but it's also your parents' bedroom, but it's neither, you know? And then you wake up. And the whole time you were waiting for something interesting or cool or funny to happen, but just like this joke, it never did. Oh, no, wait. You know what the worst thing is? You ever have a really, really good dream, like such a good dream, and then right before the best part, like just when the best part is about to happen, you wake up? Yeah? What do we all do? We try to go back to sleep to finish the dream. Guys, how sad is life that all of us are like, please, like... Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. I really, really appreciate it, specifically because what you did is you ripped your attention away from these screens that I think are kind of ruining our lives. You know, don't you guess? Right? Right? Like, you're not on social media right now. You're off your phones. You're not in front of a screen watching streaming. Social media, I think, is so unhealthy that in a couple of years, we're going to look back at it like we look at cigarettes now. You know? You see somebody on social media indoors, you're like, take that shit outside. Keep it 15 feet away from the entrance. There are babies in here. Secondhand Snapchatting kills. TikTok tuberculosis. Even Instagram, the least evil of all of them, you're still just scrolling, looking at things. That looks like a lunch I wish I'd had. That looks like a relationship I would treasure. That looks like a vacation I'll never take. Just slowly getting unhappy and arthritis at the same time. And streaming is a drug now. It used to be cool, but now it's a drug. You know how we know? Because we binge, right? We binge watch. We watch one episode, then we watch another, then another, then another. And then we're done with the season, we're upset for 7 months. And then when the show comes back, you're like, they're still making that? And we have these streaming conversations, that's what I call them. You've had one recently, I'm positive, okay? They go like this. Oh my God, dude, I just finished Squid Games. Have you seen that? No, I haven't seen that. Oh, you gotta see it. Yeah, but you know what? I just finished the second season of Tiger King. Oh, you did? I haven't even seen the first season. You haven't seen the first season of Tiger King? No, I haven't. But I finally finished Ozark, the last season. Don't tell me anything. I haven't seen it. No spoilers, okay? Yeah. But you know what I actually watched was Making a Murder. Remember that? Have you seen that? No, I haven't seen that. Oh, you gotta see it. Yeah, but I've seen the Ted Bundy tapes. Have you watched that? No, I haven't seen that. But I finally watched the O.J. Simpson documentary. Oh yeah, the one with John Travolta? No, that's the series. There's a documentary. What the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? We're not talking about anything. We're just giving each other homework and feeling sad we haven't finished our homework. But Netflix has become this like pushy drug dealer. You're gonna watch, you watch one episode, Ozark, and then another, and then another. And you watch 8 episodes, then 10 episodes, then 15 episodes, and then you did it. It's done. You're finished. And then Netflix is like, oh, you done watching that? You're about to watch this in 5, 4, 3, 2, but I don't want to watch that one.
Me and my family, we came over to Australia when I was the age of 11, and we're from near Mumbai, right? So 20 million people packed into one place. So when we landed in Brisbane at 6 p.m., my dad grabbed my arm and went, I think there's been an evacuation. It's like, there's nobody around. He was terrified, right? Then we're walking around, we're looking for food. We see the familiar golden arches of Macca's. We're like, I'm sure this will have the wide variety of vegetarian burgers like back at home. Can't wait to get a McAloo tikki. And in we went, and we left with just green apples. And here's the thing, I'd never seen a green apple in my life. Granny Smith, she's from New South Wales. She tried to make a regular tasting apple, fucked up, and made this thing, right? But I had no idea. Now it feels like I'm on a different planet, right? The food is a different color, the trees are a different color. I'm like, I'm sure it still tastes just like a regular apple. So I took a big heaping bite of the thing, and the explosion of bitterness in my mouth was worse than all the racial epithets I've faced since then. Because this was me being betrayed by something I believed in. Finally, I understood judging something based on the color of its skin. I finally got it. School was so different in India, right? We had 70 kids packed into one classroom. You have to stand up when you talk to the teacher, like military kind of stuff. And the roll call teacher in India, she didn't know my name, right? I was number 22 for 6 years. So when I walked into primary school in Australia, and I saw 15 kids sitting on the floor, I thought, fuck, the rest must be stuck in traffic. I walked in, she goes, Suraj, come in. I'm like, she knows my name, this must be a trap. I'm terrified, right? Discipline was so different as well. In India, we had this music teacher that loved her chalkboard duster, you know, with the heavy wooden handle. And anytime anyone would talk, she'd pick that up, hoof it at the kid. Here's the thing, she had terrible aim. So she'd routinely just hit an innocent kid in the head. But instead of apologizing, she'd go, let that be a lesson to you. Like, what kind of Castro dictatorship shit is this? Like, I burnt down one village, so the others will know. So when I was disruptive and talkative in class in Australia, the teacher went, Suraj, you see that chair over there? I'm like, she's gonna hit me with the chair. She said, you're gonna have to sit in that chair and not talk for 15 minutes. I thought, fuck, I'm gonna love Australia. Very nice. Then 6 months later, I started in high school in Australia. In high school, we had 2 options. We had assembly, which was 400 kids in a tin shed roof, hot, uncomfortable, or there was 25 kids in religion in aircon, so I found God. This guy's very nice, yes, so cozy. Now, at the time, I had a strong Indian accent, right? I answered some questions in religion class. Some of the kids giggle. They're kids, they're gonna giggle. This is how the teacher decides to deal with that situation. She goes, Suraj, why don't you go out to lunch quickly? I'll have a chat with them first. A few minutes later, a mate of mine came over and told me what she said. Apparently she said, hey, be nice to the new kid. Otherwise, sometimes they can turn into school shooters. What a way to ingratiate me to my new friends. And it really put a kibosh on my plan to shoot up the school as well. I can't do that. Now they're going to see that coming. Also, like, school in those early days was fascinating, right? Like, I was trying to fit in. Like, I heard these two teachers, like 30-odd-year-old white women talking. And, like, in my childhood, it was so different. Like, when I was 9 years old, I nearly died from malaria and hepatitis jaundice. Do not recommend. Right? If you ever get the opportunity, don't get that. Now, I heard these two women talking, and one of them went, "Oh my God, of course I did that on the weekend. I am such a cancer baby." And I was like, "I'm a malaria and hepatitis baby." If that helps. And she's like, "Oh my God, sweetie, no, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, you had the worst thing. I'm fine. What are you talking about?" Right? I'm an only child. Give me a yell if you're an only child. Yeah. That's exactly as lonely as my childhood was. Just one person in the distance going, "Yup." But here's the thing, right? We need only children. There are some things only children can do. There are some inventions only children could have invented. Like the guy who invented squash. He saw two siblings playing tennis and went, "How can I make this sadder?" Same with the guy who invented juggling. If you play catch once with a sibling, you don't invent a game where you play catch with yourself. I got married recently. It's quite exciting. My wife, me and my wife, we're called an interracial couple. I'm brown, she's interracial. No, she's a white lady, right? She likes to exercise, she likes to work out, she likes to do yoga. She tries to get me to do yoga. I'm like, don't force your culture onto me. All right? We're very similar in a lot of ways, but in a couple of key ways we're different. Like how quickly we fall asleep. I take half an hour to fall asleep. Her head, as soon as it hits the pillow, she's gone. It's like, how good was your childhood that you're not spending 30 minutes just processing trauma? I'm doing right shoulder, left shoulder, leg in, leg out. She's snoring the whole time. And she likes to listen to true crime podcasts as she goes to sleep. But she falls asleep in seconds, so now it's just me and the podcast. And I'm hearing it come out of her headphones, and it's going, "And his head was separated from his body." It's terrifying, right? Very concerning. Another little way me and my wife are different is how we watch movies. Like, together we'll pick a nice movie, and then I'll sit down and do this crazy, insane thing where I'll watch the movie. She's immediately on her phone, the Instagram, TikTok, 2 inches from her face. When she's feeling ambitious, she gets a secondary headphone, secondary video, right? Like we're watching Shogun. She doesn't know Japanese. She doesn't care. She hasn't looked up at the screen in 45 seconds. How do I know? Because I'm not looking at the screen either. I'm counting the seconds looking at her. Now no one's watching the screen, right? Sometimes she'll come to my shows, sit in the back and watch videos of Jerry Seinfeld. It's like, this guy's great. You should be more like him. Another way we're different is our walking speed, right? One of us walks a little faster than... I'm the slow walker. Of course I'm the... What a twist! What a twist. Of course I'm the slow walker. I need hydration to talk to you guys for an hour. But here's the thing, right? As the fast walker, she can walk slower much more easily than I can walk faster. But she doesn't because she's inconsiderate. It's so much easier to walk slower if you're the faster one, but she doesn't do it. The big concession she's made now is she'll walk 50 steps ahead, pull over, and wait for me to catch up. Then I'll finally catch up. She's gone again. I'm about to From a distance, it looks like we're doing high-impact interval training. It's brutal, you know? Recently, we were on one of these adjacent walks, and we bumped into some friends. And they were like, what's wrong? Are you fighting? You're walking 50 feet apart. I was like, we're not fighting. She's just inconsiderate. I was like, it sounds like you're fighting. And I was like, it looks bad to friends. It must look even worse to strangers. Because what they see is a small white lady walking quickly, nervously looking over her shoulder. And then I'm like, oh my God, we're seeing a crime happen in real time. Someone please call the cops. But that's love. Love is fascinating, right? Because every Hollywood movie tells us love is the most powerful feeling you'll ever feel. The most powerful feeling you'll ever feel. I don't know if that's true. Like, have you ever been in the leftmost lane with the green left arrow, but the dude in front of you wants to go straight? You know, the vicious rage you feel? Have you ever felt that much love for anyone? And it's not even anger, right? It's other feelings as well, like fear. Like, have you ever locked eyes with a cockroach and seen it take flight? When a 2D problem becomes a 3D problem. That's not even my biggest fear. My biggest fear is seeing an end school zone sign without having seen the first sign. Now you're telling me I can't do anything about it now? It's brutal, right? I was like, okay, maybe love is the most powerful. Maybe it's the most resilient, right? Because why do we unguard ourselves so much in the pursuit of love? Maybe it's the most resilient. And I was like, yeah, that sounds nice. And I believed it for years. Until I caught up with a mate of mine that I hadn't seen for ages. And he went, Suraj, I just got married. She's an amazing lady, the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I'd take a bullet for her. I'd die for her. I went, fantastic. Then I caught up with him 6 months later. I was like, how's it going? He's like, don't even say her name. I was like, what happened to the bullet thing? That's when I realized romantic love is actually the most fragile, right? It can be everything one day and nothing the next. In fact, every other kind of love is more resilient than romantic love. Like, take for example, I love pizza. 10 years from now, I'm gonna love pizza. That is more guaranteed than all our romantic loves put together. Isn't that terrifying? Like 10 years from now, you'll be in Woolies with a partner different to the one you have now. You look over to the freezer section and see a pizza and you go, I bet Suraj still loves pizza. And I wish her the best wherever she is. The lady I took to Suraj's show. You know? Coming over to Australia as well, like, I knew English fluently, but I didn't know all, like, the sayings and idioms and catchphrases. And you really need those to effectively communicate. Like, there's more than one way to skin a cat. What does that mean? That means there's more than one way to do something. Just fucking say that. Why are we butchering Fluffy here? It's not even shorter, right? So I thought, okay, let me learn all the idioms, all the sayings. And I thought I'd learn all of them, but there was one I didn't know. I thought had a domestic meant had a domestic flight. So I went to work the next day. They were like, how's your weekend? I was like, terrible. They're like, what happened? I was like, I had the worst domestic. They're like, oh my God, why? I was like, first of all, the food was terrible. They're like, what an abusive asshole this guy is. They're like, maybe you just need more space. I'm like, yeah, but that costs extra.
Conspiracy theories. Oh, I'm into it. But I'm not into the mainstream ones, like my dad. you know? He's one of those guys that wouldn't get the vax, you know? He's like, I don't want computer chips in my blood, Luke, and the government fucking tracking my whereabouts, dude. And I'm like, you have a smartphone. They know where you're at. Your location services are on. They can find you. It's also listening to you, you know? That's why when you go on like Amazon, it pre-predicts that you want to buy more wrestling t-shirts. And when you go on Pornhub, it knows you're into stepdaughter stuff. What? He loves it. He absolutely loves it. He cannot get enough. I don't know why I know that. Not me, though. I'm a trailblazer, right? I like to be the first guy that comes up with the conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? I think that JFK got shot by that Oswald guy. I think we landed on the moon in 1969. I do not really think that there is more than meets the eye. No funny business there. I believe those ones. But I got a conspiracy theory for you. Here it goes, here it goes, here it goes, here it goes. My conspiracy theory. Y'all know those packages of wet wipes that have the resealable tops, the ones that peel back, the soft packs, you know what I'm talking about? I kinda think they make it hard for you, cause when you go to grab one, you always end up with two. Then you're like, shit, I only needed one, but now that they are in the open air, I guess what's done, it's done. And then they make it so hard to slip them things back inside of the package neatly. I think they do that shit intentionally to make us use more wipes discreetly. Can I get an amen? Motherfucking amen. I think it's messed up, yeah. That big wipe would do that to us. Fuck you, big wipe, for making us spend tens of dollars more per year on wipes. That ain't in my budget, dude. Don't even get me started on those stupid iPhone chargers. I think they designed them cords to break after 4 or 5 uses. I think that women's clothing pockets are so small on purpose. I think they're in cahoots to make you ladies still buy purses. Seriously, what you're supposed to fit in those tiny little jeans pockets? Serious question. Like a single M&M, but not a peanut M&M. Cause a peanut M&M is a thick boy. These lady jeans don't got the square footage for the chubby little M&M. Sometimes I think they change the name of shit like we ain't gonna notice it. But you know we fucking notice it. When I was growing up, my dad said, wrap it before you tap it, Luke. You do not want to get no genital warts, my dude. But you don't really hear about genital warts no more. Odd. Did they go away? They didn't. They're still around. What's the most popular STD there is? Shut it out. Herpes is wrong, but it says a lot about you. That's a top fiver. Herpes is a good guess, but it's HPV. Yeah, little woo for HPV. A lot of HPV fans out in the crowd. Human papilloma virus, and like 90% of us have it. And it mostly kills women. Sure, yeah. Throw that on the pile of shit only y'all gotta worry about. Meanwhile, me and the boys out here spreading the bug, not wearing condoms. Definitely does not wear condoms. It feels so much more rad when you don't have HPV, human papilloma virus. What's a papilloma, Luke? I'll save y'all a Google. It's a motherfucking genital ward. We all have genital warts, you guys. They just changed the name of that shit to make it sound less disgusting, but we all have it. So many people hating on mayo. And it's like, we get it, Sarah. You do not like mayonnaise. But do you like aioli, Sarah? Oh, you do? That's cool. That's rad. 'Cause it's literally mayonnaise. You are eating mayonnaise. They put garlic in it, but it's fucking mayo. Quit lying to yourself, Sarah. You're not better than us, Sarah. What else is there? Oh yeah, Epstein didn't kill himself. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. Thank you.